What's up YouTube? Captain Ty here with another video. Today we are talking about holsters. Now before we get into the holsters, let's just go ahead and demonstrate that our trusty Glock 45, my favorite baby, is perfectly clear. There is no ammunition on the surface that I'm working on today to demonstrate anything. So we got the safety check out of the way. Holsters. Guys, a question I get asked a lot is what type of holster should I get? What are the types of holsters? Things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and explain the basics of holsters. I'm going to explain my recommendations for holsters. And then, yeah, we'll just keep it simple like that for today. So first of all, obviously, guys, if you're going to be carrying a firearm, you need to carry a holster. You need to have your firearm in something that's going to protect the trigger, going to keep the trigger from being, active, pulled some kind of way that it's not supposed to be. You need something that's going to keep your firearm still so that not only is it safe, but it's comfortable. And then in addition to that, you want something that's going to fit your purpose, right? So there are different purposes for these holsters. So first of all, the most common type of holster is a inside waistband holster. This holster tends to look like it is meant to go on the opposite side. So I'm right-handed. This is my left side. It looks like it could go outside of my waistband on the opposite side, but in actuality, it is designed to go in my pants for the most part, with only this clip being on the outside over my actual belt. Now, for concealed carry, I don't recommend this for open carrying, guys. You also have your pretty much just standard basic outside the waistband holster, right? Now, these are not made for duty use. I'm going to talk about that in a second, okay? When we talk about the types of holsters or the levels of holsters, right? And then finally, we got your duty holster. Now, if you're going to outside waistband carry, I recommend some form of this holster. And since I'm on it, let's just go ahead and break this down because it's going to help to explain the other two, right? So the duty holster, if you work in any type of profession where you carry a firearm open, then you probably have a duty holster or have seen a duty holster. These holsters are basically designed to have extra security features to keep someone from walking up and taking your gun out of your firearm. For obvious reasons, that's why I do not recommend open carrying with regular outside waistband holsters, but I'll get into that in a second. All right, so understanding the levels of retention in coupling with explaining the duty holster, there are a lot of safety parameters you can take, but the basic levels of retention are 1, 2, and 3, right? So any holster that you get pretty much fits the firearm. It should be fitting to your firearm. Usually if you have a light or optic on it, you're gonna order it based on that light and that optic so that it's custom fit to that. I do not like those holsters that are like one size fits all because they tend to be really bulky, right? So with this holster or any holster, putting the firearm into the holster and having to draw it out is considered level 1. Level 2, you hear that click? So there is a mechanism inside that kind of hooks onto the slide of the firearm, keeps it rather still in there, keeps it, from being able to just pull it out. And then of course you have to release the safety mechanism, which on mine is that little knob that you should see there in the center of the screen. That will release that mechanism and allow you to draw out. Now, to take it a step further for duty use, you should have a level 3. If you're just going to open carry, level 2 is okay, but level 3 is the best. This is where you have to take an extra step. So see that hood, an extra measure of security to keep someone from snatching the firearm. So you got to release that and then hit the knob and draw the firearm out. Now, it may seem like a lot of steps, but with training and practice, you get used to this. So don't get too caught up on that if you're like a new armed security guard or a new police officer. Level 3 is necessary. All you need to do is train. I promise it'll become muscle memory. All right, now in addition to that, this also has a little safety hood just to keep people from reaching in the front. It also helps, sometimes it's rare, but sometimes I might have like a hoodie or my shirt untucked. When that happens, your shirt can get caught up in the safety mechanism, so this actually helps to stop that as well. Now, as far as brands and things like that for duty use, my number 1 recommendation is going to be Safariland. Safariland is just an all-around great brand. They're tried and true, they're proven, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. If you're on more of a budget, then you can do some shopping around. Just make sure that you do the adequate research and look at those reviews and testimonials and things. All right, so moving on, now we're getting more into the civilian use, off-duty use, things like that. So outside waistband holsters, right? We talk about the basic outside waistband holsters, which pretty much don't have any additional levels of retention other than the fact that it's fitted to the gun, right? So again, based on your light, based on your optics. Some of these do come all the way up. Mine doesn't. I chose it that way. You're able to get a custom fit holster, and you can wear this outside your waistband. But again, like I said, anybody can just come up and just pull that firearm right out of there. Now, if you're going to be working and you're doing like a concealed carry, maybe you're doing a suit jacket or something like that, then this type of holster would be more appropriate. But for the most part, the only time I wear this holster is if I want to have my firearm outside my pants, but like maybe sweatpants or something, but I'm wearing like a large jacket or a large something. And it's also good because it's the same draw that I do at work. It's just having a jacket to move out of the way or something. But it's very rare that I wear this. But this is a great holster. I love this company. This is from We the People Holsters. All right, so a lot of good brands out there, guys. These are just based on my experience. I have no affiliations, no sponsorship, anything like that. So anything that I share with you guys as a recommendation is just based on my experience. All right, and then finally, this is not the last type of holster, but this is the last most common type of holster, and this is the most common of the three, other than if you work in a professional setting, which is your inside waistband holster. So when it comes to concealed carrying, this is like the standard, okay? Like I said, the majority of the holster itself is going to be in your pants, with this clip being outside and just snapped onto your belt. And then again, I personally have never seen an inside waistband holster that has more than level 1 retention, but I would imagine that they do. I actually haven't thought about that until right now, but I can't see a reason why I need it. My shirt's covering it, you know, it's concealed, it's pressed up against your body, it stays still. Now, this brand I'm not necessarily going to recommend. The reason being is because it's just some random brand off of Amazon. However, again, you got to be able to do research. When I bought this holster, I was on a budget, number one. I was new into the game, and I've had this for over 3 years now. It just so happens to, well, over 2 years. It just so happens to have been a good one, had good reviews, and it has worked for me for all of this time. Keep in mind, I only conceal carry about once a week, and a lot of times that's with this holster, but I only conceal, well, for a while, a lot of times it was with that holster, but I only conceal carry about once a week, so I'm not sure about everyday wear and tear because mine only gets a couple of hours a week, but that's just because I work a lot and things like that. So, you know, I'm not going to recommend the brand just because, you know, this platform, I don't want to push buying cheap. I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of money. I'm just saying do the research. Make sure that if you're going to go low, you're going to buy based on price, do a good amount of research first. All right. So then, guys, just a little bit of extra knowledge. So you got things like these, which are good for, these are holsters that can go inside or outside your waistband for carrying an extra magazine, which I recommend. They also have clip attachments that can go on the slide of your gun or on the slide of your magazine. For the magazine ones, I guess they're pretty decent. Most of the time you'll put that in your pocket. For the firearm, I've seen a lot of people have good stories, good things to say about them on YouTube. I personally have never used one, so I can't give a recommendation for or against it. Finally, I want to talk about, from my professionals, everybody who's watching this video, like, man, I know what you're talking about already, but I'm just here to support. I appreciate you guys. A little bit of extra knowledge for you guys. If you don't know by now, Safariland and pretty much almost all of the major brands are now using or introducing QLS systems. I highly recommend these. The thing about this is I change setups a lot. I'm a manager. I work off, like, away from my company a lot and things like that. So with that being said, if I got my main duty belt on, it's nothing for me to snap that in, right? But I can quickly release this, and it's secure. I promise, it's very secure. And let's say I got my more tactical setup, then I can go ahead and snap that right on in there, and just as quickly as I put it on and take it off. All right, so a little bit of extra knowledge there, guys. If you like this content that I'm pumping out to you guys, then I encourage you to check out my reels where I share content, tips, and tricks on a little bit of an entertaining scale. I won't necessarily call myself funny, but I can say that I have a lot of fun making those videos and people have fun in the comments. So in addition to that, like, subscribe, and share, and let me know in the comments what else you want to hear my insight on. Peace.